So I was working for somebody yesterday, and as I was walking to their front door area, a guy walked in front of me, and I believe he was a painter, and he was late 50s, I want to say, with a couple of older people with them, must have been his customers. And I stopped to let these people go in front of me because we were crossing paths on this walkway, and I hear this guy after he gets past me. He has two people following him, his customers, and I hear him say to the customers, "Sorry, I walk fast." And it reminded me of just one of the worst habits that a nice guy can have is over apologizing, constantly saying sorry like it's just second nature to you. So I wanted to make a video and share some things on my mind about how we can break out from being a nice guy and becoming a better version of ourselves, because the quest for freedom, it's not just finances, it's freeing up our minds and putting away bad habits and becoming the best version of ourselves. And when we walk away from being a nice guy and change who we are and become a better version of ourselves, life gets so much easier and so much better. So this guy reminded me of when I used to play pickup basketball like 10 years ago. This is before I had read Robert Glover's book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, I believe it is. But there was a couple different nice guy books I read. But I used to play pickup basketball, and keep in mind, I'm not a basketball player. It was something that I got into at a period in my life when I needed something to do, and I went over and I always liked watching basketball, and I said, let's go shoot some hoops. I went over to the courts, and there were games going on, so I would hop in them, play some pickup basketball. But the reason I say I'm not a basketball player is because I'm not really good, and I don't really know the game that well, like from a player's perspective. So anytime I would bump into somebody, foul somebody, give them any kind of rough play, I would always just say, my bad, sorry, my bad, constantly saying that, to where I realized it was a first nature to me. If I made any kind of decent contact with another player, or, fouled them, anything, it was instant. It wasn't even, I didn't have to think about it. It would just come out. And then I started remembering also how I am a surfer as well. And so when you're surfing, it's very competitive because there's a limited amount of waves. And a lot of times it's a tight packed area. Like if you go on YouTube and search pipeline surf, you can see that's one of the most crowded places to surf in the world. And so when I would surf, if I got near somebody, if I got in their way, if, it could have been anything. And I would always just go, oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Like the first reaction was to say sorry. And the reason we shouldn't be doing that is because if you're a walking apology, and before you can even get a thought out, you're apologizing to people, and that means it's your fault. If you're apologizing, it's your fault. How are they going to respect you? How are they going to take you seriously? You don't even respect yourself. You're instantly taking fault for anything that happens, and these are nothing burgers of infraction. It's not even a real thing. And you're just apologizing constantly. So people aren't going to have respect for you if you're not worthy of respect. And we should be going out into the world commanding respect. Now, I'm not saying we should be overly aggressive or, bullying or, being like a hard ass all the time, but we should command respect. We deserve it. At least I hope most of us do. We should respect ourselves and command respect. But if you're just a walking apology, you're not going to get it. People are going to walk over you, use you for a doormat, and they're not going to take you as seriously. So number one thing, and you also are devaluing a real apology. When you actually do wrong someone, you should apologize. But if you apologize every 10 seconds, then what does it even mean? So that's a big thing. The other big habit for a nice guy is being a nice guy ties in with a lack of confidence. And so if you're constantly asking others for input on every decision you make, to me, that's a bad habit. It's good to get opinions and input and advice on some decisions, especially big things. if you have one or two people that you go to. But if everything that comes up in life, you've got to go get input from someone else and you can't make a decision, that's not the right way to go. It's going to cause you to not trust your own judgment as much and not value your own viewpoint on things because you're looking for validation or a consensus before you move forward and make a decision. And this applies to so many different aspects of life. So what we should be doing is making a decision, the best decision we think of, usually in the quickest amount of time, because the longer you think, you get paralysis analysis or analysis paralysis, however that goes. The longer you think on it, usually it's the first gut reaction is right. So don't always be looking to so many different people and getting so many different points of view and inputs. That's going to make it even harder. A lot of times we want to go with our first initial reaction to it, or think for a little bit, but make a call and stick with it. And we're not going to get everyone right, but at least we're going to have a belief in ourselves where it says, hey, 4 out of the 5 were right, or 7 out of the last 10, those were right. We're not going to get everything perfect, but at least we're growing and building strength. The last bad habit of a nice guy that I'm going to discuss in this video is self-deprecation. It's one of the worst. Someone gives us a compliment, and instead of saying thanks, we downplay it. We shrug it off, or we say something to, make ourselves not so strong. There's no point doing that. Once again, it's hard to be respected if you don't respect yourself. And when someone does give you a compliment, you want to take it. If you do well at something, accept that. We should be celebrating our wins and learning from our losses. And if you put yourself as the butt of a joke all the time, it's hard to grow from there, and it's hard to be strong. And when we go out into the world as a nice guy, we want to be respected. You're going to be starting off from a better position, a better vantage point. If you start off with a little bit of respect, that it just comes because of the way you carry yourself. People are going to know they can't get one over on you. You're not the one to try. You're not the one they can punk out. You're not a doormat. You're not going to get walked on. So take your compliments, take your praises, enjoy that moment. You earned it. And don't be self-deprecating in general. So those are 3 things we can do to work on no longer being a nice guy. If you have input on that, I would love to hear it in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you.